Governor's vaccine mandate goes into effect today for thousands of Oregon workers. Good evening and thank you for choosing NBC5 News at 6. I'm Grace Smith.
And I'm Anna Weeks. Perhaps no segment of our local economy is being affected more by the state vaccine mandate than our healthcare industry, where hundreds of local residents may soon not have a job to go back to.
NBC5's Katie Strite talked with Southern Oregon's largest healthcare system about what it means for you. That's our top story tonight at 6.
Asante says they are far from finalizing any numbers based on Monday's vaccine mandate. However, they do know how many employees were granted either a religious exception or medical exception. 491 to be exact, but only 25% of those employees actually get to keep their jobs.
No one here is taking it lightly. We don't want to see anybody leave, ever.
Thousands of healthcare workers are preparing to leave the industry after Governor Kate Brown's vaccine mandate takes effect.
We're being forced to implement a mandate that we must legally comply with, and there's just so much anger.
Asante is bearing the brunt of much of that anger in the Rogue Valley. As we reported last month, Asante is putting everyone who works directly with patients with an approved exception on leave and is telling them they will recruit to fill their position.
It's hard to see anyone leave for these circumstances. We're not forcing them out.
Asante's Lauren Van Sickle says 58 people have resigned since the vaccine mandate was announced. Just under 491 people have been approved for an exception. About 25% of them are staying on because they don't work directly with the public.
About 118 of those are working remotely now.
Van Sickle says the rest haven't been terminated, but will go on administrative leave, which allows them to use vacation time until it runs out.
We're still kind of in that period of flux between knowing how many we will ultimately be losing and how many will be staying.
Asante hospitals are contracting with travel nurses to help fill the gaps. It's something they've been doing for years. But Van Sickle says the ones who work with patients are being held to the same vaccination standard as everyone else. In some cases, they are being paid more. She says that's based on experience and other factors.
A traveling caregiver might have more experience than somebody that's maybe only had 1 year on the job here. So, there's a lot of variables as to how and why they get paid what they get paid.
Van Sickle says she's proud Asante now has 88% of employees fully vaccinated. That equals out to about 5,400 people.
And having a vaccinated workforce really makes sure that when you come to our hospital for care and for treatment, that we don't give you something that you weren't expecting.
Asante's goal is 100% vaccination rate. That's what Asante believes the governor's intent was behind the mandate. Asante says people may experience longer waiting times when visiting the emergency room, but it all depends on how many people are there at a given time. In Medford, Katie Strite, NBC5 News.